In the bustling city of Accra, Ghana, there was a school known for its strict rules and disciplined students. Among the students, there was a girl named Kofi who was notorious for being a bully. Kofi had a habit of picking on her classmates, taking their lunch money, and making their school life miserable. Her teachers and fellow students dreaded her presence, and her actions had caused a lot of problems in the school. One day, Kofi's behavior crossed a line when she bullied a younger student named Arma so severely that Arma cried all day. The principal, Mr. Mensah, had had enough. He called Kofi to his office and delivered the shocking news: she was expelled from school. Kofi was stunned. She had never imagined that her actions would lead to this. As Kofi walked home, she felt a mix of anger and fear. She knew her parents would be furious with her. Her father, Mr. Owusu, was known for his strictness, and her mother, Mrs. Owusu, was always supportive of the school's decisions. Kofi had always believed that her parents would back her up no matter what. When Kofi arrived home, her parents were already waiting for her. Her father looked stern, while her mother had a concerned expression. Kofi tried to explain her side of the story, but her parents listened quietly. They had a plan that Kofi was unaware of. The next day, Kofi's parents took her to see Mr. Mensah. They discussed a new plan that would help Kofi change her ways. The principal agreed to a special program where Kofi would work with younger students who had been affected by bullying. She would help them with their studies and learn the value of kindness and empathy. At first, Kofi was resistant. She thought this was a punishment, not a solution. She felt humiliated and rejected, especially since her friends at school were moving on without her. But as she started working with Arma and other younger students, something began to change inside her. She saw how her actions had hurt others and how much they needed support. Kofi's interactions with the younger students taught her the importance of kindness and respect. She slowly started to understand the impact of her behavior and began to change. Her parents and Mr. Mensah observed her progress, hoping that this new approach would help Kofi become a better person. Days turned into weeks, and Kofi began to enjoy helping the younger students. She developed a sense of responsibility and pride in her work. She realized that she had been wrong and that there was much more to life than just being a bully. Her relationship with her parents improved, and she started to feel a sense of belonging and purpose. But just when things seemed to be going well, Kofi faced a new challenge. Her old friends from school started to tease her for her new role, making her feel isolated. She had to find a way to deal with this new conflict and stay true to the changes she had made. As Kofi navigated these challenges, she began to understand the true meaning of redemption and personal growth. Her journey was far from over, and she had to continue working hard to maintain her new path. Little did she know, her journey of change was about to lead her to unexpected discoveries and opportunities. The story of Kofi's transformation was just beginning, and she had a long way to go before she could fully embrace her new self. Kofi's new role helping younger students was not easy. Despite her efforts to change, she still faced constant reminders of her past behavior. Her old friends, especially those who had once been afraid of her, made cruel remarks and avoided her. The teasing made her feel like she was back in the dark place she had tried to escape from. One afternoon, as Kofi was working with Arma on a difficult math problem, she noticed Arma's eyes were filled with sadness. Arma had been trying to do better in school but was struggling. Kofi realized that Arma needed more support than just academic help. She decided to take a different approach, offering Arma encouragement and spending extra time with her. Kofi's efforts paid off. Arma's grades began to improve, and she started smiling more often. This made Kofi feel proud and motivated. She began to understand the real impact of her new role, not just in academic success but in making a positive difference in someone's life. One day, the principal, Mr. Mensah, called Kofi into his office. He praised her for the progress she had made and the positive changes he had observed. Mr. Mensah proposed a new project where Kofi would help organize a school event focused on anti-bullying. The event would involve speeches, performances, and activities designed to raise awareness and promote kindness. Kofi was excited but also nervous. She knew this project would require a lot of work and would put her skills to the test. She accepted the challenge and started planning the event with enthusiasm. She collaborated with other students and teachers, including some of her old friends who had been skeptical about her transformation. As Kofi worked on the event, she began to repair her relationships with her old friends. She reached out to them and apologized for her past behavior. Gradually, they started to accept her apology and supported her efforts in organizing the anti-bullying event. The day of the event arrived, and Kofi was nervous but hopeful. The school hall was decorated with colorful banners and posters promoting kindness. Students and teachers participated in various activities and shared their experiences. Kofi gave a heartfelt speech about her journey and the importance of treating others with respect. The event was a huge success. It not only raised awareness about bullying but also showed Kofi's transformation. Her parents were proud of her, and Mr. Mensah praised her for her dedication and hard work. However, just as Kofi was beginning to feel content with her achievements, she received a letter from a new school in another city. The school had heard about her positive changes and invited her to share her story with their students. Kofi was both excited and anxious about the opportunity. It was a chance for her to continue making a difference, but it also meant leaving behind the city she had come to know. Kofi discussed the opportunity with her parents, who supported her decision to take on this new challenge. They believed it would be a valuable experience for her growth. Kofi prepared for the journey, excited about the new possibilities but also worried about the changes it would bring. As Kofi set out for the new school, she realized that her journey of transformation was far from over. She had learned so much about herself and the impact of her actions, but there was still much more to discover. The road ahead would be filled with new experiences and challenges, and Kofi was ready to face them with the lessons she had learned along the way. Her story was far from complete, and each new chapter promised further growth, discovery, and the chance to make a positive difference in the lives of others. As Kofi continued her work with the younger students, she began to make real connections with them. Alma, the girl Kofi had previously bullied, became one of her closest friends. Alma's gratitude and willingness to forgive Kofi helped Kofi realize how important it was to earn trust and make amends. One day, the school organized a special event to celebrate the students' achievements. Kofi was nervous about attending, especially because of her past reputation. Her parents encouraged her to be brave and show everyone how much she had changed. Kofi was determined to prove herself, not just to her peers but to herself as well. During the event, Kofi was asked to give a short speech about her experiences and the lessons she had learned. As she stood before the crowd, her heart raced. She took a deep breath and began to speak. She shared her story of how she had been expelled and how she had learned the value of kindness and empathy. She thanked her parents, Mr. Mensah, and the younger students for their support and understanding. The audience listened intently, and Kofi could see that her words were having an impact. Some of her old friends, who had once teased her, were now looking at her with a new sense of respect. Kofi felt a surge of pride and relief as she finished her speech. She knew that this was just one step in her journey, but it was a significant one. After the event, Kofi's relationship with her old friends began to change. They started to include her in their activities and treat her with more respect. Kofi was cautious but hopeful. She continued to focus on her work with the younger students, and her efforts were beginning to pay off. However, not everyone was ready to forgive Kofi so easily. Some students still held grudges and made it difficult for her to fit in. Kofi had to navigate these challenges while maintaining her new behavior. She found solace in the support of her parents, Alma, and the other younger students who looked up to her. One evening, Kofi's parents sat her down for a serious conversation. They told her that Mr. Mensah had noticed her progress and was considering allowing her to return to school under special conditions. Kofi was thrilled but also apprehensive. She knew that returning to school would be a new challenge and that she had to continue proving herself. As Kofi prepared for her return to school, she made a commitment to herself. She would continue to work on her personal growth and be a positive influence on others. Her journey was far from over, but she was determined to face each challenge with courage and resilience. Kofi's story was unfolding in ways she had never imagined. Each day brought new lessons and opportunities for growth. She was learning to balance her past with her present, and though the road ahead was uncertain, Kofi was ready to embrace it with an open heart. The journey of redemption and change continued, and Kofi was eager to see where it would lead her next. The challenges she faced and the lessons she learned were shaping her into a better person, and she knew that her story was far from complete.